What if I told you that nearly 300 years of human history might not exist? Not forgotten, not lost, fabricated. According to one of the strangest historical conspiracy theories out there, we may be living in the wrong year. And the Middle Ages might include a 297-year time jump that was deliberately inserted into the timeline. Welcome to the mystery of the missing 297 years. The theory claims that the year 614 to 911 AD never actually happened. No Dark Ages, no early medieval period, just a historical copy and paste. Supporters argue that powerful figures, specifically the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and possibly Byzantine authorities, conspired to invent centuries of history to legitimize their rule and place themselves closer to the year 1000 AD, which was believed to be a sacred prophetic milestone. In other words, they wanted to rule in the right time, so they just changed time. Bold move. Believers point to some interesting questions. Why is archaeological evidence from this period allegedly sparse in parts of Europe? Why do certain architectural styles seem to appear suddenly? Why do historical records from different regions sometimes fail to line up cleanly? They also argue calendar systems, especially the switch to the Gregorian calendar, didn't quite add up the way we were told. To them, history isn't missing, it's manufactured. Now, before we rewrite every textbook, historians push back hard on this theory. There is archaeological evidence from this period. Coins, manuscripts, carbon-dated materials, astronomical records, and written histories from multiple civilizations that would have all had to be in on the same lie. That's a lot of coordination, especially in a time before email, our printers, our reliable roads. So what's really going on here? Was nearly 300 years of history fabricated by medieval elites? Or is this a case of modern skepticism colliding with the messy reality of ancient record keeping? Tonight we're digging into the dates and the motives behind the missing 297 years. Because if history can be edited once, who's to say it didn't happen again?
Crazy. Okay, so that is the first I've heard of any of this, other than 297 missing years. I was like, okay, that sounds interesting.
Tree has no idea what we signed up for.
That's a lot.
I'm so much more excited now.
Yeah. It's a fun conspiracy. It definitely is. Yeah, so we're gonna tonight we're just asking a simple question. What if almost 300 years of history never actually happened? So that's what we're diving into.
I am shooketh.
Yeah. So before we get further into this, just a quick disclaimer: this podcast explores theories ranging from historical speculation to complete chaos. We're not historians. We're not writing textbooks. We're just asking questions and kind of hanging out and talking about it. So don't take anything that's literally. It's just our opinion.
Yeah, I'm not really the Ayatollah by the time it comes out.
Well, that ruins my evening.
No, it's March 5th, so it's just a little joke.
There you go. Good deal. Good deal.
I'd say that was one of my goals, was to, get harassed or something.
Yeah.
Get the government after me.
Well, I don't know how much do you guys. Obviously, Tree knows nothing about this topic. Do you guys are familiar with the phantom time theory at all, or have you come into this blind?
I have a little bit of exposure to it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, basically, the first person who came up with it, I can't remember his name. It's like I would say Igor, but it's not Igor. It's something weird like that.
It's Herbert Illig.
Thank you. Illig, there you go. You got
Herbert Illig. He's from Germany.
Yeah, he's from Germany.
Yeah.
And so basically, how the theory got started was in whatever BC when Julius Caesar made the Julius calendar. They didn't account for a leap year, for a leap day every 4 years, and since the Earth goes around the sun every 365.25 days, or 364.25, anyway, it's a quarter of a day or whatever off, you have to add days in, or in order to make the system work. And that didn't happen between 30 BC and 15 whenever the Gregorian calendar changed that and added leap years in.
Yeah, it was 1582. It's crazy. I remember numbers for some stupid reason. I remember it was 1582.
Also, the if I remember correctly from Latin class,
Mm-hmm.
the Julian calendar. Well, no, I guess it would have been Augustus.
Yeah.
Because that added July and August. And then because it used to be that's what there were only 10 months, and then they
Right.
had like garbage time.
Right.
So that's why the months start with Septem, Noem,
Right.
Decem,
Yep.
Octa, to
Yep.
represent those numbers.
Okay.
So it was like it took screwy time and like at least made it 12.
Right.
Right.
Because December literally means 10th month,
Yeah,
essentially.
and October is 8, and it's like the
Right.
11th.
8, yeah.
Exactly.
I
So
remember.
yeah, remember something. Remember something from Latin class. So basically, when you do the math as far as from 30 BC to 1582, and you figure out how many days are actually missing during that time, it comes up to 13. Now, when they did the Gregorian calendar, they added 10 days back. October 4th went to October 14th, and those 10 days are missing. They basically just added days in, and they adjusted the calendar. Those days don't exist. Those days really don't exist to make it line up with the spring equinox or the summer solstice or whatever, the solar calendar. They were making it add up. But there should have been 13 years, and they only adjusted for 10. So what happened to the other 3
Days, you mean?
What?
You said years. You meant to say days.
Days, yeah, 13 days.
Right. Yeah.
We only added 10 days back. So this guy came up with this theory that there's 300 years missing somewhere else that makes it line up right. And that's where the speculation went into, when did this happen? And this whole conspiracy is based around the math behind it. So that there's something missing somewhere, because the calendar lines up now, and it shouldn't, according to this one guy. So
Right.
that's where we get the phantom time hypothesis. And the claim is that the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III and Pope Sylvester II fabricated it, and their motivation, according to this theory, is that they wanted to be alive during 1000 AD, which was symbolical as
Right.
1,000 years.
Now that part I totally believe.
Why 1K bitches?
Exactly.
And
Start copying these scrolls.
That's right.
right.
Uh-huh.
And they argue that, basically the medieval calendar was manipulated. It's and any other documents that point otherwise just forged. This further goes more. So historical figures during that time would have been like Charlemagne. And one of the big things for this is that he accomplished way too much in his life to actually have been a real person. So it's all just made up. That Charlemagne never actually existed. The formation of the Holy Roman Empire is not what we think it is. It actually started a whole lot later or earlier, or whatever you want to call it. Add years, subtract years, whatever.
I mean, if you look at the list of accomplishments that Charlemagne supposedly accomplished, though,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, artistry, agriculture, technology. I mean, it's a litany of things. It seems like too much for one man, and then we'll get into that conversation later. But
Yeah.
I see where they were going with this, though.
He was the great.
He was the great.
Yeah.
You know,
Charlemagne.
not quite the god.
He was the
Just the
first.
great.
He was the first Holy Roman Empire, right? I mean, isn't that the stories that he came from the Franks, which is the French area, and the Pope named him the first Holy Roman Emperor?
Was he the first?
Man,
Oh, that's a good question. I don't
Why are
remember.
you remembering more than me?
What'd you say?
I said, why are you remembering so much more than me? I totally forgot. I mean, I don't know much about the Holy Roman Empire.
I used to. I don't remember that. So much that trivia stuff I used to retain is all like gone
It's
now.
because those years were fake, man.
Man, that's
Yeah,
what happens.
it
COVID
never-
happened. I
it
stopped
never
going to
happened.
trivia night. I don't remember anything.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how the story goes. Now, how true it is, of course, the HRE, the Holy Roman Empire, as the HRE is, some people call it, wasn't holy, wasn't
really
Roman,
cool.
and wasn't really an empire. So, it was a loose conglomeration of a bunch of Germanic city-states and free cities and duchies and bishoprics that formed together and elected officials. Eventually, it was just the Habsburgs, which were all inbred.
Yes.
That ended up
Awfully
ruling forever
so.
and ever. Awfully inbred. But they ended up ruling the HRE from Austria for the majority of towards the end of it before it fell apart. and became Persia, or not Persia, before it became Prussia. Sorry, Prussia.
And they got their pointy head.
Not Persia. Wrong
We know what you meant.
area of the world. Need to correct myself there. So yeah, let's start talking about Phantom Time. I mean, what's you guys' thoughts on this? That one that could have done this, where we're not actually in 2026, we're in 1700s right now. They just cut out 300 years, and we're actually.
So, I put my name, by the way, as Doughboy the Elder for a reason. Because one of my favorite historical characters is Pliny the Elder. And he is the main reason the whole theory gets debunked for me. Because of the astronomical observances he made. And he was prolific with what he recorded. He recorded so much stuff. He was like, hey, I saw a bug piss yesterday. It's like everything that he saw, he recorded. So the fact that we have clear evidence of astronomical, occurrences in his writings that align. I'm not talking about I know the Halley's Comet one is one that people refer to, but he has solar eclipses. Now these things, only happen hundreds of years apart in various areas. And the fact that he has one recorded, I think only happens like every 600 years or something like that. It gives you all the evidence you need, because that obviously is longer than the 297 years. However, for conspiracy theory purposes, I like the fact that the last year that he said was missing 9/11. What?
Yeah. It's all
lining up.
Yeah. But anyway, there's lots of conspiracies around that. The 9/11 stuff.
Of course.
It goes deep. But yeah, so I mean, one of the biggest things they point to is, of course, the Dark Ages. That there's not much that comes out as far as historical evidence in Europe, and I have to say in Europe with a hard quote, because we'll talk about this later. The rest of the world does exist. It's not just Europe. Surprise, surprise.
What?
Yeah, what? So we'll talk about that later in this podcast. But yeah, I mean, it's during the Dark Ages, and they call it the Dark Ages because there's not much history from this time. There's not much writings. There's not much archaeological evidence. A lot of it's just missing. And a lot of that has to do with just the fall of the Roman Empire. I mean, this happened right after the fall of the Roman Empire, and there was a huge power vacuum and just a huge regress in technology, and everything just kind of reset back a couple hundred years in technology and everything. So
no one's building, no one can read or write. Everyone's struggling just to stay alive, essentially. I mean,
well, to be fair, there was no record of history, or there was limited record of history in Europe.
Right. Especially during this time. I mean, there was during the Roman times. They had very good records.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming out of this and towards the Renaissance, tons and tons of records. But during this time gap, I mean, especially these 300 years, it's really sparse.
Yeah.
There's not much archaeological evidence of anything happening. I mean, I'm sure there were wars. I'm sure, because people fight all the time. I'm sure there was stuff going on. But like you said, literacy was at an all-time low.
Mm-hmm.
No one was writing anything.
Yep.
So
I hear poverty was up to 95% or something during that time period. I mean, so everyone's living in squalor. I mean, it's terrible for, everybody. You're just trying to survive,
Right. And one other thing that they say is just how much, another thing going back to the building aspect of it, just that we lost technology to build Roman-like buildings, and then immediately after this, they start building Roman-like buildings again. So that's another argument, is the archaeological or architectural discrepancies.
Right.
That what if we never actually stopped? We kept on building, just cut out those years and made them up. Those years are just all made up, and they never stopped building the same way. And the technology wasn't lost. It's just those years don't exist.
Right. That's I forget if I was talking to you guys about this, but that was one thing I read is, in Roman times, they learned enough of like health and science or whatever that they could set a broken bone, and you could see that in their skeletal remains. But then, like when this medieval time came around, you could just look at the skeletal records and see that they like lost all like how to do that.
Oh wow!
Because you just see how the breaks were not set properly,
right? Like they healed incorrectly and things were misaligned and stuff. Right. Oh no!
Right.
Yeah, I mean, people point to like the St. Peter's Basilica and stuff like that, which is very Roman-esque architecture, and that was built in 1506. Right. So, if they forgot how to do this, how come you can just do it again, 500 years later or whatever? That's 1,000 years later after, all of a sudden just relearn how to do it.
Humanity needed a pep talk.
Yeah, there's a TED Talk.
Get back to our roots.
Yeah.
Now, something when you were talking about the summary of all this, Alan, one of the things that I remember, and I'm going to paraphrase, and I'm pretty sure this is accurate. One of the things that kind of got the whole trigger for them trying to move the dates around was they didn't like how Easter was falling further and further away from where they wanted it to be.
Yes.
They were like so adamant about Easter had to be, around but the spring equinox, right? And so it kept moving further and further away. And they were like, no. We got to stop that. So literally Easter is one of the main reasons why they were like, we got to fix these calendars,
That was also another reason why the original schism happened. When was the Great Schism? Where the Orthodox Church broke off from the Catholic Church.
But anytime you're trying to move from lunar to solar calendar, things are gonna.
So the Great Schism happened in 1054.
It's a date I should try to remember. When 1054. I feel like that's when the
business. Yeah, 1054. So like right afterwards. So that's when the Eastern Orthodox Church and the Roman Catholic Church split. And basically it was a lot over these type of issues where, the Roman Church was still using the Julian calendar and their Easter was getting completely separate. And the Pope basically decreed that we have to do it on ours. And if I remember correctly, the Orthodox Church was using the Jewish calendar, which never had these problems. So it still followed the lunar year perfectly. And so the Easter was getting further and further apart where they were celebrating Easters. And basically the Orthodox Church was like, no, Easter is based on Passover because that's when the Last Supper was, according to the Bible. So we're following the Jewish calendar and Passover, which is not messing up. We're not going to adopt your Roman ways. And that's when the Pope excommunicated the heads of the Byzantine Church. And that's when the Great Schism happened. Where it's like, well, we'll just kick you out then if you don't want to follow our Roman way.
Right.
It's like, well, your Roman way sucks.
And that was the Great Schism. Nicene Creed, but it was just about power.
Nicaea. That's right. I'm glad you said that.
Calendar?
We'll come back to that. Yeah, go ahead.
The Council of Nicaea.
Well, I need to look up how that's laid out. Like, does it have 12 months or 13 months or?
What, the Jewish calendar?
Yeah.
It's a good question. I don't know. I never studied their, but I know that existed for a long time before the Roman calendar, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of looking it up too because there's like a Native American and Canadian calendar where they still use 13 months. I'm pretty sure because it's like
I want to say it is a 13-month calendar.
Where it's like a turtle's shell has their perfect calendar where it has like 13 spots, and I can't remember exactly how it's all laid out, but just came up like a couple weeks ago. So I'm wondering.
Yeah, they have a 13-month calendar.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's how it was before the.
Well, it's let's see, it's a 12-month calendar, but then they add in an extra month every. So, intercalendar month is added 7 times in 19 years. So they add an extra month in to make it fit.
So they have like a leap month.
Yeah. So there's an extra month that's added.
If you're trying to do financial reporting, that kind of throws it off.
True. So, yeah.
I don't like those quarters.
Okay, but, 13th month out of every 7. Okay.
Yeah. So 7 times every 19 years, they add another month. So that's how the Jewish calendar works. But it fits with because they're doing that keeps the solar calendar correct. Whereas the Julian calendar was just constantly veering slowly off over the years.
Because
Which was
even
frustrating.
our, leap year math still is a little off. I mean, because it's not quite 1/2. It's not quite 0.25. It's like 0.219 something. So still like every I don't know 100 years or something, we have to add like a day or something or other. I can't remember what the math is on that. I did commit it to memory, but I just know that it's still slightly off.
Right.
Okay, yeah. I just looked up the Native American calendar system, and it is a 13 lunar cycle, or 13 moons in a year.
Yeah.
And I think they have less days in the month.
Yeah.
I think it's 26 days in 1 month. So
okay.
Yeah. And just to put things in
28 days.
in timeline perspective, I know we mentioned the Council of Nicaea. That was in 300. Let's see, when was that? 325 AD was Council of Nicaea.
Right.
The actual final fall of the Roman Empire was in 476.
But that's where the 3 days were that our friend Herbert Illig didn't account for. So there was the 10 days.
Yes.
And he was absolutely right.
So,
I mean, the 10 days was true. And there was 3 days missing, theoretically.
But the Council of Nicaea had added
But
3
they had
days.
already added the 3 days before.
Added 3 days. Yeah,
And he had
The whole
been
thing is
going
so
for it.
frustrating.
So
We're just going to do math for an hour straight.
I know,
That's all we're doing.
this is a numbers show.
Great. All right, you hold up your hands, and then this guy, you remember these days.
Yeah, these dates. This happened.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So, yeah, I mean, so the other conspiracy angle, too, that kind of makes it a little bit far-fetched is the global conspiracy angle. So not only would the Romans, the Holy Roman Empire and the Pope, the Romans, have to be in on this, the Byzantines, who at the time were not friendly
Right.
with them, had to be on it. It was right in the middle of the Islamic Golden Age. So, all the Middle East was definitely recording stuff and was taking numerous records, because this is when they were at their highest literacy rates, because of the Islamic Golden Age. And then you have China,
entire Chinese dynasties would you have to be not accounted for. Right.
Well,
or would just have to be in on it too.
Right, they have to be in on it.
There were several continents they weren't quite aware of either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you're talking about a global conspiracy upon a conspiracy.
So could there been a global conspiracy though? Could all these civilizations have kind of been in cahoots just so this one pope could be alive?
Man, we can't even come together to agree that we're killing our planet. I mean, we can't even come together to be like, hey, we should stop burning oil.
It's melting. I'm just trying to get. I'm just so stuck on what day even is it? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
When is it? What is it? What is time?
Time. Well, that's a whole.
What is time?
I'm just nothing is true. Everything I've been told is a lie. Nothing is constant, and everything is wishy-washy, and the world is melting around me.
But Al, I think this is a great time for you to go into the whole Eurocentric ideals. I think this is your time to shine, sir. Let's go.
My time?
Your time. Go ahead. Talk about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, so a lot of Western history is written by Europeans. So this is where that kind of thing. We tend to forget about the rest of the world, especially in Western. It's gotten better in most educational systems. But you go back even 50 years ago, almost all the Western educational systems didn't even teach about the rest of the world at all.
Right.
Everything was Eurocentric. So for something like this, for a German, what year did he come up with this theory?
It's 1996. I want to say it's 96.
96.
When I saw that, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this guy knew about all the other stuff we've been talking about and came up with
but this 90s, but did he know about all this stuff? Like I said, it would have been very. This was early internet days. Not everything was out there yet.
But he was already kind of on some, fringe theories before then. In fact, a lot of the stuff that he put out was self-published because no one was taking him seriously. Somehow or another, he got a little bit of traction on this one. I never really kind of, did the deep dive into it. But yeah, 96 though. But I again, the Eurocentric thing, I like to come back to only because I don't know how many of you guys, grew up in the era that I did when it came to like world history. And when they talked about the Middle East, it was like Tiger, Euphrates, and that was it. It never returned. They never went back to it, said anything about that area. Forget Africa. They didn't even talk about anything in this huge continent.
Mansa, whatever. Like you talk about the richest person ever to live.
Never talk about
Africa.
Who had
Not in
ties
any
with
books.
the Pope and stuff, because it was the Pope sent some guy out there because he heard about him, and I get maybe something on his journeys. He was documenting stuff, and he found this guy, wrote about him, and then he had a pilgrimage to Mecca, I think, and so it's not like they didn't know these people.
Right.
They just didn't write.
Right. They just didn't write anything about them. Right. Exactly. So that's the reason why this whole idea of this conspiracy theorist, the theory, I have to chuckle when I say the amount of coordination it would take if you were really trying to make sure everyone bought into it would be huge. But because they were just like, hey, the only history that matters is the history we're writing over here.
And to consider that the Chinese being in on it too, considering that Marco Polo didn't make that trek over to open the doors to China until 1300s.
Right.
So 300 years later.
Trading with us. And also, can you change your calendar?
Hey, by the way,
can we just sign off on this conspiracy theory? Please put your X right there. I really appreciate it.
Just trust us.
Yeah.
Fun times. So yeah. Well, before we get into the more of this episode, and we decide to erase another 300 years, don't forget to like, subscribe, join our Discord, all that fun stuff. So talk about a little bit more into historical overlap. Chinese records, we talked about that. Islamic scholarship was huge during that. Huge. And I know Londo already hinted to that. The astronomical records don't match this at all. Like,
oh man,
the stars don't change, and we can map out all that. And we know people taking sightings from 0 AD in Rome, and we know how much things move over certain times because they're on a very steady trajectory.
In fact, astronomical science has been one of the main ways we have been able to align world history so well, because if a planet shows up, it only shows up at certain times and certain, etc. Constellations, all these things, and that's the reason why our world history has aligned the way it has. It's because if Halley's Comet shows up, it shows up at the same time for everybody. And that's the thing that really debunks the theory, unfortunately.
It's really hard to fake celestial events, especially when you have cultures that are taking the same readings on the other side of the world and they're documenting it.
And let's remember, this is how we navigate. I mean, astronomical occurrences are huge. I mean, that's how you get around the world, get your ship across a freaking sea, ocean, whatever. I mean, there's no getting around that fact. I mean, everyone relies on. Not it's like something fun to look up in the sky and do. They rely on it. So again, that's the reason why it's hard to say.
A good amount of mathematics was used and discovered just to figure that stuff out.
Bingo.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a great book. It's called Log or Longitude, about trying to solve that problem for the longest time. So, I mean, if you go back to celestial navigation only tells you your latitude. It doesn't tell you where you are east to west. It only tells you where you are north to south.
Okay.
So the way that you used to navigate was that you would sail down either north or south until you hit the latitude you want, and then go due east or due west in the trades or in the westerlies. That's why whenever you look at these old maps of like Columbus or Magellan, they sail down to the Azores to get into the trades so they can take a straight shot straight across. And that way they can go until they hit the land they want to hit on that latitude. But they have no idea.
Is that because of the rotation of the Earth?
Yeah, and time zones, because the time changes as you keep on going.
Oh.
So unless you have really good timepieces, you can't tell where you are east to
Right,
west.
you can't tell.
With the stars, you can tell north to south because we're rotating around and those stay fixed. So you can tell where you are on the world up and down, not east to west. So
Right.
made it really hard to navigate, even with celestial navigation. People don't realize how tough it, and there's an entire book written about like all the weird experiments they did to try to figure this out. Like, because the hard thing too was clocks back then used a pendulum system. Well, when you're on the water in waves, to try to make an accurate clock that tells time as the boat's rocking is next to impossible.
Right.
So clocks didn't work on the boat. So they
obviously can't use solar because being impacted by the arc of the sun as you're actually moving.
Right.
It doesn't help.
Doesn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it makes it really, really, really tough to figure out where you are.
And then the doldrums, and you go insane.
And then you go and say, yeah, well, I've been in the doldrums. It is very, very, very boring. I was in the doldrums for 10 days in Indonesia, and we joked around calling it Lake Indonesia because it was just a giant lake. There's no wind, just 100-degree temperature Fahrenheit. So super hot, no wind, and just drifting for days. So yeah, going back to the whole celestial thing, obviously hard to fake that across everywhere, and it's just not going to happen.
Let's turn back to my boy Charlemagne.
Okay, let's turn back to Charlemagne. Let's talk about Charlemagne.
My boy Charlemagne, this guy. Now, I believe he exists.
Sure.
I mean, there's enough stuff out there that says he exists. But man, he used to like to take some credit for some things.
Sure.
So, I mean, so if you read his accomplishments, which is like just diatribes of things that he supposedly did.
Right.
I mean, I can see why somebody would get the conspiracy theory of being like, that's not possible. Either you're smashing all the accomplishments of numerous people together, or you've made up a person.
Right.
Just so that we can show the advancement of technology, over this inordinate amount of time in a shortened period of time, or whatever. But Charlemagne, he was good at two things: taking credit and making babies.
Well,
that was just two things.
And conquering a whole lot. I mean, he conquered.
Yeah,
he conquered.
Yes,
he started in the Franks, and then he conquered the Saxons, which was northern Germany. And then he tried to unite them all, but all these kingdoms were popping up and revolting. So that's why in 800 AD, 800 AD on Christmas Day, he went to St. Peter, the old St. Peter's Basilica, not the modern one, but they had one back then too, and had Pope Leo proclaim him as Emperor of all the Romans to give him basically that's made him the Holy Roman Empire Emperor.
Leo.
So basically, he was the emperor of all Christendom.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Plus, he did all the other things, invented everything, and everything.
Yes.
So
pull that up.
So a lot of people, obviously, Charlemagne's bigger than life. Kind of, if you go back to historical records, and probably there is some exaggeration. Once again, we're in a time of illiteracy, so taking credit for everything and just putting a stamp on it and saying, I did that too. Yeah, art, I invented it. It's just Tree, tell me how you feel about Charlemagne now.
I don't know.
I didn't have an opinion before. Don't have an opinion now.
Yeah. I need more info.
Fair enough.
I'm writing all these things down because every single thing that has been brought up tonight is completely new, and I need to go back to school. So I am making lots of notes so I can look stuff up later, which is why I'm just quiet, because I'm like, I'm not going to say anything because I don't know anything. So just keep going, please.
Well, Tree, you can be the naysayer. You can try to tell us how we're wrong. How it's possible.
I have not enough info to even say how something's wrong. But if a little fun tidbit comes up and I'm like, oh, I know something about this, I will.
Oh, okay. I'll wait for you. I want you to be like, birds aren't real. That's the reason why there's not 257 years.
The only thought so far I had was the whole, like, sure, we could follow the stars, but are the stars real? So only that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
conspiracy.
Prove it.
They're
Touch one.
just
have
made
you ever
up too.
been to a star before?
They're made up too. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
Hidden
with this
tree.
calendar kind of stuff, like wait till we move to a sidereal time, because we're conquered by some intergalactic species. And then we're gonna be way off.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's and because time's also different everywhere else in the universe too, obviously. So
Yes, it is.
Depends on your point
Absolutely.
of reference.
exactly, it's
Mhm.
all relative. Einstein talks
And how
about that.
fast you're going.
And how fast you're going, and how much gravity there is.
And how much gravity is, right?
Yeah, time dilation. Yeah, it's a thing.
Yep.
Kind of crazy.
Out there.
It's so scary. It's freaky.
What time
Like, maybe
dilation?
stars are only real while you're looking at them. You
Well,
know?
we have a whole episode kind of about that. We do. We actually do. Yeah, there's a whole conspiracy theory about that too. So talk about a little bit why it feels somewhat plausible. Obviously, in the early Middle Ages, there was extremely sparse documentation. There is a whole lot of confusion between the Julian and Gregorian calendar shifts. Like you said, there's a lot of dates that get forgotten because they're done by different scholars at different times, whether it's Council of Nicaea or when Julius decided to make his calendar next to his salad, or when Gregorian, Pope Gregory, decided to make his calendar. And we do have missing days, October 4th to October 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did know about that one already in like 1582, I think. it was.
Yes, 1582.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
those things are documented that did happen.
I mean, if
so
you
we
ignore all
have,
the science, I think
what'd you say?
if you ignore the sciencey parts that
Yeah.
debunk it, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at just like the architecture and the science of it, and you're missing parts of the whole equation for the math part, because the math doesn't math if you're well, that's like anything you do math in. If you're missing parts of the equation, it doesn't math. But once you put all the pieces together,
but
obviously,
are the motivations there? Certainly
Sure.
could be.
would someone want to do this?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not debating that. I mean,
You know.
for glory and those guys to be alive during this time and that time, yeah, that's yeah. And I know we brushed over the Roman architecture thing. I mean, like I said, Rome fell in 1476, and when was this? Hold on, this was. It says it was
And we still have their roads because they're the best.
right. So 614, so 200 years later, or 150 years later.
Well, 9/11 was the last year of this missing year. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so 614 was the first year, and 9/11.
Okay, let me write this down. 614.
9/11.
614 to 9/11.
Oh, this,
Army.
Yeah.
this too has now reminded me of the. Remember when everybody got hyped up about their astrological sign because they were like, "Oh, it shifted." We figured something out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
and you're
remember
like,
that.
wait a minute.
And then no one bought into it.
But now I have to figure out what year I was born.
Yeah, I'll just subtract
Hmm.
297 years, and that's the year you were born.
That's a lot.
I want to do that now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use a calculator because
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
tired, not because I can't do it.
Yeah,
I'm just lazy and I don't want to even try. So.
Oh,
And
yeah,
the
I
other
was
thing
born
that-
in the '80s, baby, 1684.
and the other thing that helps, this theory along too, is this regional fragmentation. Like, I mean, there was no conglomerate power. There was a void of power. This is after the fall of the Roman Empire, and all the countries I don't even call countries, nation states, whatever they were. It was just a hot mess. All of Europe was after the fall of Rome, because it was a power vacuum. Like, you had the Romans who ruled everything, and then they fell and left, and then we had all these tribes, and the Germanic tribes, and you had the Celts take back over.
Yeah. I mean, it became more regional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
nothing
then
that's
the
coordinated.
British Isles, you had the Saxon invasion during this time, I believe. Of course, the Norman invasion happened in 1066. William the Conqueror. That's when the French came and conquered Britain. But the Saxons had already been there. It was interesting time.
So when we were talking about we talked over the Roman architecture,
Mm-hmm.
Now, my theory, and I haven't had a chance to look it up and confirm it, is my theory was that it was romanticism, aka member berries, where they were like, oh, you know what? Back, you think about you go through this dark era, it's squalor and famine and disease, etc. And then you're starting to have, society as a whole, we'll call it European society just to be, fair, starts to rebuild. And then it's this romanticism comes up and it's like, okay, we want to be part of that golden era.
Right.
And they start building things in that homage to that time period.
Right.
That's the way I've always approached it when it came to this idea of like, people are like, oh, why do they still have architecture in that early, millennia, 1000 era? Why does it still look like, Roman era? And that was always my theory.
Right.
So,
also because columns and arches are really effective at what they do.
absolutely, with stability. Stability. There's a reason why they're still there, right?
Why, even if you forgot that technology, there's a reason why you reinvent it, because you're like, oh, wait a second, this works.
Hey, earthquakes kind of don't bring them down all the time. So hey,
arches and columns kind of make sense. So it's one of those things that you can point to, if we went into another dark ages, let's say, and we'll do an episode on the Kessler effect. Let's say the Kessler effect starts tomorrow. If you're not familiar with the Kessler effect, that's the theory that it's a ticking time bomb right now, that there's too much space satellites. All it takes is one satellite to break apart, and it's a domino effect, and it pretty much knocks out all the satellites within like a month.
Like the beginning of gravity, essentially.
Right.
Too much
like
debris.
It just becomes a big pile of debris and junk in space around Earth, because all the satellites just start destroying each other because they break.
And they basically create a web around the Earth, and we will not be able to go into.
So within a month, all the internet, everything, GPS, everything shuts down. That's Kessler effect. There's a whole conspiracy theory about it, and we'll do a whole episode about Kessler effect eventually, because it's a fun one, and a lot more plausible than some of the other stuff we're talking about, because we are launching about 1,000. Be on that episode. We are launching about 1,000 satellites, more than that a year. So we're adding more and more up there. It's like a ticking time bomb. Anyway, not getting into that whole thing. But let's say technology just went away, and we had a dark age where literacy dropped almost to zero, poverty rates went to 95%. People are just dying of starvation everywhere. It's famines everywhere. Once we pull ourselves out of that as a human species, if we survive it, we'll probably reinvent the arch. I mean, you start building, you're like, wait, this works again. It's not that we're copying. It might be that we're copying, but it also might be just that it works.
You don't start with the suspension bridge. That's a little further on.
Right. Yeah, it's a little further down in that, when literacy levels come back up and you start actually learning again. Yeah, so, yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, so basically low records does not equal missing centuries. So this is kind of where the skeptic side of me comes in. I'm not really a firm believer in this theory, although it's fun to speculate. It's fun to speculate, would a leader try to do something like this for glory or something like that? Sure. Would you be able to get the whole world to buy into it?
Yeah, the reasoning was always sus with me. It didn't quite. Yeah, I mean the why. It just didn't quite resonate with me. I get it. You want to be in the year 1000, but if you're fabricating years, then what does that really mean?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I want to live in the year, 2100.
Exactly.
Fine, but I mean,
you just start writing on
what does that matter?
Papers and whatnot.
Exactly. I'm a fabricated driver's license.
Sorry, I get it. Coding.
I need to see your birth certificate.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Well, I was born in 1684. Like another. I told you that I know. That's right.
Fun times. But yeah, so so any final thoughts before we kind of go and talk about some of these theories and kind of rank where we think they're more plausible, less plausible? I only got like 4 or 3 to talk about, but yeah.
Also, we get to rank how plausible This theory is against bring to get other ones that have been talked about.
Yeah, so we can talk about your favorite theories. We'll get to that in a second. I'm gonna kind of go through.
Okay.
I'm gonna go through each one and kind of get your thoughts on it. So the first one is that the entire 297 years is fabricated. That this is true. If phantom time exists, how plausible is that on your scale? Everybody gets to rank that theory, figure out whether they believe it or not, make your arguments.
What's our scale? Give us a. What's our
it's a 1 to 10. 1 to 10. 1 being
1 to 10.
1 being it's not plausible at all. 10 being it happened.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can also add in like how fun is the theory too. You can do how plausible is it, but how much fun is it?
Right.
Like,
I like this. Oh, okay, I like this.
Yeah.
Yes,
because it just brings up a lot of topics of history class.
Yeah, it does give you the rabbit hole kind of thing, doesn't it? Just
Yeah.
lets you just keep going.
Start listening to tons of history. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't really get any info that convinced me that this actually happened.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think it's
okay.
So,
We
Tree, are
need
you
someone
giving it
to
like a
play the
negative
other
one?
side. Come in here and
Someone that actually believes in
Wait.
phantom time theory. That
Yeah,
one
I
guy,
need
is he
to-
still alive? The guy who made the theory.
like, can we patch him in?
Oh, is he still alive?
well,
It
let's
was
send him an
96. I
email.
mean,
Oh, Illich. Yeah, he was born like 1940
Yeah, like,
something.
Come
So
here
It's a
and
chance.
convince
he could
us.
be.
I need to be convinced. I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe-
it's gonna be hard at this
If he
point.
watches this podcast or listens to the podcast, he can comment and let us
Yeah.
know. His,
Come on, convince me. I
Convince him,
want
yeah.
you to try because I don't think we did that on this episode.
I don't think so either. I like it. I like the thing. It's fun.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's fun too. I
it's a
would
fun
really
theory.
want someone to come in with some interesting, tidbits of information
Yeah. Try to
that support this theory.
I don't think he has an X account.
Yeah. Does he even have a Wikipedia page? Is he even famous enough for that?
He's like, oh, here's my
Illich?
Insta.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah, he's got it. Well, he doesn't really have a page. There's a phantom time conspiracy theory page
Okay.
where
But
he's mentioned.
he's mentioned. But he doesn't have his own page.
Yeah, but I don't see a page for him. They reference to him as was a couple times, but they don't actually say death or anything. So
Right. How do you spell his name?
I know his first name is it's like Herbert.
Yeah,
It's like it
Herbert
sounds like it's
with an
Herbert,
I
but it's
in there.
actually an I in there. It's Herbert,
Illich.
and last name is Illich. Illing.
Yeah.
Or no, Illig. There's no N. Right.
We're gonna find you. We're gonna find you.
Herbert.
So he
Illich.
published something in 2013, so he might still be alive.
Oh, cool. All right.
Let me. I'm googling him right now.
Von
Let's see.
Strauss.
Fingers crossed.
Bavaria.
Still be alive.
Yeah.
Is he still alive? I don't know. I can't find whether he's still alive. Born. I don't see anything where it says he's passed away.
Oh, you know the reason why I remember this guy's name? I remember his first name because Herbert is such a weird name.
Yeah.
And I always remembered the last name because I think about that Run DMC song, You Be Illin. So I just, You Be Illing.
Yeah.
Illing. I dig myself. Old rap songs.
Yeah. It looks like he published something in 2013 was the last.
Oh, man.
So, but I think he published. I mean, I just mentioned. I mean, he's.
Wow. So doesn't have a following enough to
Yeah, I don't.
people tracking him down to find out where his current status is, huh?
Oh wait, I found his Wikipedia page. He does have a Wikipedia page.
Nice.
It's in
Oh,
German.
he has his own?
It's in German. Hold on.
Oh. Hey, I know some
um,
German.
I
See
did
if can-
too. I do too. So
Okay, cool. Do your
um,
best at translating that for us.
Let's see. Ist eine deutsche Publicist. Okay, so he's a German publicist.
Is he right?
That's book titles. He studied in 1987 at the University of Bremen. Yeah, I'm trying to see anything where reception of his theories. And these are other people that have debunked them. A whole section for that.
Oh, wow.
And most of this by his 1996 paper. His works. He just published something in 2023.
Okay.
It was Nachricht für Kezia Karl. Der Mittel. Okay, yeah, but so
Our
he
German
did publish
listeners are
something.
like, ugh.
sorry guys.
Sorry, any Germans that are
Sorry.
listening.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I can find this book. Anyway. Yeah, so I that's all I found. So I mean, he might still be alive. I don't see anything where he says he's passed away. So
Okay.
I assume he's still alive.
All right. Well, let's hit him up.
Yeah. So I might have to send him an email.
Hopefully, he
Brush
speaks
off on my
English
Deutsch.
better than you guys speak
German.
German.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Ja. Ein bisschen. So
Must be bitter.
Bittes, please. Yeah.
Oh, please. That's right.
Bitte.
He says.
Yeah,
That's right.
bisschen small, a little bit. Ambition.
Right.
A little bit. Plausibility on this one.
The tree gives it a -1.
That trig is a negative
Based
one.
on the information that I've been given, yeah, it's
Negative
a
one.
0.
Jared, how plausible is it?
Oh, I mean, it's pretty low.
That's pretty low. Yeah.
But I know, I feel like I'm excited because like now I see. So I went to Mantis Publishing, Mantis Verlag, and it says Mantis Verlag, Dr. However you say his first name, Elig, and it has he's in Grafingling, and there's a phone number and an email.
Oh,
so
Yay!
should we email?
Good job, Jared.
keep it
Yes,
back.
yes. Tell him I really need to be. I really want
need to be convinced of the phantom time theory.
Yeah, I need to be convinced because otherwise, where's the whimsy?
Yeah. So, Alonda, do you have a rating on this?
If I didn't know how much other science went into the adding of the 10 in 3 days,
Right.
I mean, there was so much science, not us, that they were doing at that time. I would have liked to be able to say, oh, and it's just like a situation where they didn't know what they were doing.
Right.
And they just got it all confused and it was all mixed up with their old heads.
Yeah.
But no, they knew exactly what they were doing. These guys are like obviously on top of science, on top of the world that they were, living in. It's just really hard to give this any plausibility, unfortunately. I would give this 1.5 trees.
What if it was just like the reason for this whole thing is because in 9/11 AD there was a monk that was transcribing the Bible. He sneezed and wrote the wrong date accidentally,
That's what I want to.
And then he didn't want to change it, so he was like, you know what, I don't want to rewrite this whole thing, so I'm just gonna push this out.
I was really hoping, Alan, it was going to be like there's a possibility that it was just like human error, lost records.
This monk wrote the wrong year. It was like, I don't want to rewrite the whole thing. I don't want to rewrite the whole thing. You know what? We're just gonna put it out there.
And saving faith.
A scribe tripped over a footstool and a candle fell on some papers.
Like, yep, we're leaving it as it is.
I wanted it to be something like that, but unfortunately, I mean, no, it just doesn't. It doesn't add up. Unfortunately, I really wanted it to be a comedy of errors.
You can find, you can find some old Celtic art and some of that from around this period. That's really, really interesting because they had no. The literacy was so bad. Even the monks who were literate, they have pictures they would draw, and there's this famous picture of the 4 Gospels where they have different animals representing Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and one of them's supposed to be a lion, so it has a lion's tail, but it's a peacock's head because they had no idea what a lion looked like. So it's drawn and that's what the monk thought maybe a lion looked like because they'd never seen a lion and there's no record. But it's this famous Celtic Bible cover that has a peacock head and a lion tail. It's that's a lion.
That's kind of fun. That's reading a book and trying to draw the characters based on the description.
Based on and having no context at all and just trying to figure it out. So
that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so this publishing group might just be fringe stuff in general because there's another book called The Sumerians Did Not Exist.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this is.
Well, he published a lot of his stuff through some very questionable and self-published
Yes,
organizations, so I'm not surprised.
it's more like a comic book, but
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So let's go to the next conspiracy
man.
theory in this. That's the political calendar manipulation. How plausible is it that we would manipulate calendars for political aspirations? That not necessarily missing 297, but just changing things for politics.
right. I'm trying to think of like what would be something modern that, or that we can think of historically that's sort of at this equivalent level, and it just being.
If you want to erase a presidency,
If you want to erase a presidency,
I mean,
or
well,
something
you
like
think
that, or-
of a lot of just U.S. history that we were taught growing up,
so
and
So,
sort
I
of
mean-
like is this fact like cherry chopping trees and what?
So if you go back
Well-
to Cambodia history, like actually like the Khmer's not taught at all. Like they just erase all of that.
Yeah.
So there are modern equivalent, not necessarily in the Western world, but there are modern equivalents in the rest of the world where like that mass genocide, they don't talk about it. They don't teach it. It's just, it never happened.
Right.
And that happens when you have atrocities in the world sometimes. So that could be talking about calendar manipulation,
Yeah,
but that's
if you
more
have
like
enough
historical
control-
Spain
fact.
is another one. Spanish Civil War, you do not talk about it.
Right.
Period.
Right. If you have enough control,
No
you can
bueno.
get people to believe it for sure.
But that's more historical manipulation, and that happens a whole lot more often than calendar manipulation.
This is true.
I
Right.
think, yeah.
Right. They don't like ignore like the fact the decades didn't exist.
Yeah, it's just this event didn't happen.
But they didn't
So
ever
that's-
want anybody
That's
to
plausible, and that
change a calendar.
yeah, but that does happen. Event manipulation happens, but calendar manipulation, maybe it's a little more plausible than just cutting out 297 years. Obviously, we did add the 10 days, so we have had that wasn't political motivated. That was just getting the math right. But yeah,
Mhm.
I mean there have, and even today we still add days. I mean we have leap years, and then what is it every? I can't remember. It's every 400 years they skip they skip a leap day because it goes too fast by doing so. Like every 400 years they don't do a leap day that year
Wait, but how long have we been doing leap days?
since the Gregorian calendar. So 1582.
Oh, so we did one recently.
Yeah, we did
Guess I should have paid attention.
in 2024. I think
Right.
next one's in 2028.
Well,
The next time a leap year will be skipped is the year 2100.
2100. Okay, so in 2100 a leap
see,
year.
you wanted to get there already.
We're so close.
Stupid leap year.
Yeah. So that's how we do. That's how our modern calendar works. Is every 4 years we add a day, and then we don't add it every 400 years.
Interesting. So we're getting good at this.
It's when you have a system that's not how dare the Earth not revolve around the sun or rotate around the sun at a perfectly aligned spinning time frame, so the day lines up with the year.
That's all we're looking
Perfectly.
for is good time,
Yeah, who designed this? Anyways,
As the Ayatollah would say, a bunch of schmucks.
a bunch of schmucks. So the political calendar manipulation theory. How plausible is that one?
Only works if you have one global government.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, once you get outside of like this European zone, it all falls apart.
There it is.
Yep. So I mean, a little more plausible. So maybe if the other one's a 1, this is a 2.
I mean, it has happened. Like it
Sure.
definitely has happened, but not secretly. You know.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And then the last theory, which is the most boring theory, but that this is all just misinterpretation of sparse records. I mean, that's, I would say, extremely plausible.
Another clerical error.
just some monk sneezing, and that's what this all.
I just feel like this is just poor research.
Yeah.
That's where I'm yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess to wrap things up with final thoughts, did anything from all this move you to change your mind? And obviously, if you didn't have any opinion coming into it, did it make you believe anything? Or is your favorite
No,
theory about
I
all
was-
this?
I was very excited going into this after you shared all that, and now I'm just like sad and disappointed.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, sometimes we're going to have these episodes where we're going to cover them,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
Well, the
But
only
it
thing
is
that
what it
piqued an
is.
interest for me is that there are other publications around these topics, and I just find that
Yeah.
interesting that exists.
Yeah. Now the Charlemagne stuff's more interesting to me than anything else. It's just like, did he actually do all that stuff? That's a more of a conspiracy theory than anything else. But that's
right.
Yeah, I would like to know who actually accomplished those things.
Yeah,
Right. Well, the victors, write history, so
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
And he won a lot.
allegedly.
Yeah, he did.
He was a great guy. Some say the best.
Yep. He was known for unifying,
Yeah.
not taking over,
Right. Not lopping off heads.
unify.
Well, he forced the Pope to crown him emperor. Like, I mean, it was a whole.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I need to do a whole deep dive on this person.
On Charlemagne. And he made lots of babies.
Oh.
Like, there's a lot of people that are related to Charlemagne. Like,
but there's a reason why he's referred to. If I'm Alan, correct me if I'm wrong. Is he referred to as like the father of Europe or something like that?
Him and Genghis
I've definitely
Khan,
heard
like
that.
him and Genghis Khan, are just like everyone's related to those two.
Oh yeah, you got some blood.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, they actually did a study on the Genghis Khan one, but I don't think they done one on Charlemagne.
I don't know if they have or not.
Oh, that's a fascinating deep dive I have to get into now.
Yeah.
I don't
Thank
think we
you.
ever have any DNA. So, like, whereas we know descendants of, like, true descendants of Genghis Khan, so because Kublai Khan, and that was followed further, like, where we can actually trace back DNA samples and get closer. I don't know if they're going back to the records not being there.
Right.
I don't know if we have a lineage line for Charlemagne. That's true.
Do we have a body?
It's verified. So,
All right.
I don't know.
We'll look into that. That'll be extracurricular.
Extracurricular activity. Yeah. So anybody's favorite theory in all this, or any favorite topic to talk about, or
Aliens.
aliens? There you go.
It's always aliens.
Right.
Our
I
dwarves.
just really want everyone to agree on one calendar because this is a mess.
We've got people who need a plan.
We gotta plan things out. None of it matters. What day is it? Is it August?
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Don't know. Yeah, whatever. Is any of this true? That's another question I had. I'm thinking most of it's probably not true for the Phantom Time. That's my theory. But anyway, any final
I'm just shocked it didn't get picked up. I'm shocked that the theory didn't get picked up the same way the other fringe theories, like really get latched onto. I'm shocked this one isn't more widely heard of.
Yeah, give it time. People.
You think so?
No,
I
no,
would have thought by now.
50,
This came out in '96.
but 50 years ago, no one believed there was a flat Earth, and now that's had a huge resurgence. Give it time.
You think so?
Damn
I
it.
mean, I don't know. Was Germany cool in the 90s?
Was Germany cool in the 90s? I mean, it was the reunification of Germany.
Yeah, I mean, Germany. Well, that was in late '80s. but
89.
Yeah, still. Look, I mean, yeah, Germany had a little resurgence. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
And this was only 5 years.
I just would have thought other people would have latched onto it, but really, the only name you ever hear about is Herod.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't hear anybody else like going out and like being his like disciples, going out and say, "Oh yeah, he's put this theory out. You need to go read his book."
Yeah. No, I mean,
So
you can go find some friends.
I mean, even in Germany, obviously, because I'm seeing
Yeah.
that where people in Germany are like, "Yeah, me getting behind this idea." They're like,
No.
screw that guy.
Yeah. You can find some fringe YouTube channels.
Fringe theorists.
You can find some fringe YouTube channels that buy into this.
Oh yeah. Once you
I will be going down that rabbit hole.
once you reduce that friction of getting people who have theories to publish things, you get a lot more.
Right. Yeah.
But really, I think people have to make the stars not real to make this in any way possible.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult as well. But
It
I would
is.
like to also hear those theories because I'm interested that people have already said the stars aren't real.
Yeah.
Like we live by one. It's big. It's right there. It's hot.
It's
You
very
can feel it.
it's very hot.
It's the only one we really know.
I mean, it's not there right now because it's nighttime, but
Yeah. Definitely.
and I can't put dwarves in this theory at all. So
No.
That's
Unless there's the dwarfish calendar that
Don't get me started.
Let's talk about Tolkien and his calendar system. We read this. No. Fun times. So I guess closing thoughts. If 297 years were fake, then history isn't just written by the victors; it's edited by them.
Yeah, no. Once you document celestial events, you kind of screwed yourself to manipulate it.
Well, anybody out there that's listening to this podcast or watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave comments. Have you heard of the Phantom Time before? Do you trust the official timeline? Do you believe that there are 297 years missing? If you do, I would love to hear why, if there's more reasons. I mean, I know we had the one guy that wrote it, and apparently he might be still alive. So if he watches this, I would love him to chime in. But if anybody else out there is like really gung-ho about this and like believes that they cut out 300 years of history, let us know. I would love to hear other people's perspectives on this. Maybe
we need a part 2.
We might. If there's enough people that come in and give us new evidence or new things to go over, I am happy always to recover topics. It might be a while before we get there, but we got a lot of topics to cover still. But yeah, there could be a part 2. Next week, things are getting weirder because we're gonna do Max Headroom, hijack singles, masked figure no one's ever caught. Just a really, really, really weird conspiracy theory. So come join us next week as we get into Max Headroom and the 80s and the takeover of Chicago TV stations. Should be really interesting. If you haven't yet,
impersonations of Max.
Yeah, there's lots of impersonations, but like that's a deep rabbit hole with Max Headroom. It's good. It's gonna be a good episode. So come join us for that one. If you feel like joining us for other things, always can you join us at our website, notentirelyplausible.com. We got Discord links there. Links to all sorts of ways to watch us or listen to us. We'll have merch that's being added, ways to support us. And as far as everything else, just remember to question everything, even time itself. All right, that wraps up today's journey into the mysterious, the misunderstood, and the not entirely plausible. If your brain is now questioning everything, good. That means it's working. Before you go and launch 27 new browser tabs to just check something out real quick, do me a favor, hit the like so the algorithm doesn't bury this video under government-approved cat videos. And subscribe so you don't miss whatever madness we dive into next. And if you're feeling really brave, click this recommended video. It's the one the internet keeps trying to make disappear. I can't legally tell you why, but you'll see. Also, huge thank you to everyone watching, sharing, and debating in the comments. You make this chaos worth it. And extra love to our Patreon members. You're the reason we can afford microphones, electricity, and an attorney on speed dial. Seriously, you're legends. Just remember, stay curious, stay skeptical, and as always, stay not entirely plausible.